Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a love themed card using my favorite things and clearly Besotted. First of all, this card is going to be very simple. I am using the Sweet Honeybee from my favorite things and then the basic striped 2 stencil from Clearly Besotted. 2 products and we will just create a card with that. Sometimes it's as simple as just finding a stencil, and even a stencil is not necessary for a simple card, and then one stamp set. So here I have this cute Sweet Honeybee stamp set. I truly adore these images that my favorite things is coming out with, illustrated by Titley Inks. And so I stamped it out, everything using dark chocolate Gina K Designs Amalgam ink. Now I did that and then I took my Copic markers to color everything in. Since I had the brown color as my ink, I decided to instead go with browns instead of grays or black or anything like that for my bee. So that's what I did, and I started with the browns just to check that the color combination that I wanted to use here was appropriate and was working, and it did. So I'm mostly adding my shadows on the right side. But for the suit, I thought, well, since it's rounded at a certain point, the light source will not hit it anymore, and so there will be shadow again. So that's why I have on the bee suit a bit of both. Also, the colors that I'm using, as I do often, they will return in the other images in the background. Anything I can to avoid having lots and lots of different colors, I tend to go with the same colors all over. So the paper that I'm using, like always, is Transotype Perfect Coloring Paper. If you want to check out what I'm just saying here, because it's a weird name, I know, I list everything down below in the description box. So there you have it, how it is also stated on the packaging. So, well, you know me, normally face and hair, and since I wasn't sure about the brown, I thought, well, first do the brown of the suit. So let's now just focus on the items that I normally start with to be sure that I have it right and then continue. I just think that whenever you're uncertain about something, it's better to start with that, just in case that it doesn't work out, then you didn't color everything in already, and just you can continue knowing that it will all work out. So I'm making sure that I go over almost everything twice, just because I find that that gives me that result that I like, the blend that I like. So that's what I'm doing here, going over it again. And that's how I work my way through my images. Now I wanted to talk about the fact that this is a love themed card, and normally I am like, well, you can only make so many love themed cards in a certain year, and I know Valentine, and then all the brands come with these amazing love themed stamps, and well, of course I buy them because I love them and I need to have it all, you know. But normally I'm like, well, so I also tried for this release to not buy it all, which was hard, which just implements that I have all of the rest that I didn't buy on my wish list, of course. But this year is a bit different for me, and I like to share it with you because, well, everywhere on social media, well, Facebook is a bit, I'm sharing cards in card groups, but my personal Facebook is, I always think that's for my personal information, for my friends that I know from here, from class and from work and stuff like that. Well, I barely use Facebook just to share cards, actually I use it. And then Instagram, I decided to only make it about the cards and just show you what I create and what is my passion. And so then YouTube started, and some of you really like me chatting in between a bit. So let me just open up a bit more to you, because you also took the time to stop by and watch this video. So if you're here, thank you already. But about the love themed cards. So this year is a bit different for me. I am getting married. Yay! I should have like a soundboard for like, well, okay. So so this year is a bit different. Also on the Crafty Maraki YouTube channel, I don't know if you're following there, but every Friday except when something is happening or anything like that. I'm sharing a card there. There was a gorgeous love themed release, the Meraki hugs that happened, and so there are lots of love cards coming, and I must admit that every card I made so far, and still editing and stuff, so for next week's as well, I'm so in love with them. I had so much fun creating them. It's like this year, due to the wedding, the love idea and the love cards have gotten a complete different meaning for me, but I think you probably understand. So about the wedding. Really funny story. No, not really, but so I've known my my fiance for over almost 10 years now, and so the idea was normally to do a wedding in 2022, and just do it on the day that we got together 10 years after, and just celebrate then. Now our personal situation here is a bit different. So he asked me 2 years ago, and then we said, well, we are not going to rush it. There is no pressure. We are just engaged. We are already 8 years together, so what's the rush? Let's do it on our 10 years. And then COVID happened a few months after our engagement, and we were like, okay, luckily we just put it on 2022, you know, we still have time. And then COVID just kept on going, and we were so unsure, and we just didn't want to start planning it out to then have to cancel it, because we really want to have the whole party and church and all with our families, and it's quite a big amount of people. So we were like, okay, so COVID, if it is not slowing down, we will just have to postpone. And so we were already in our heads with, okay, so it's not gonna happen. Really disappointed. And then last year, I found a house online. We went there. The owners were great. The house was gorgeous. So we decided to buy a house. And so is it a compromise as well in English? We signed it. And then now we are still waiting for the house to be officially ours, to sign the last final document, and that was going to be the latest in March. So then we thought, well, if we cannot do the party, because there is still a bit of, well, the unknown about the COVID and what we will be able to do, because currently in Belgium we are limited with the amount of people we can invite, and if you want to dance you need to put a mask on, and that's just not lovely. I know why, but I don't want my wedding to be like that. So we thought, well, since we don't know, why just marry it already for the law, and just do the party and the church next year, just to also avoid having too much of a stress about, is it going to go through or not, our wedding. So that's what we are doing now. And so next month, really short, we are getting married for the law, just with our closest family, our parents and brothers, and then also with our, how do you call that, with our, not bridesmaid and stuff, but the people that are like signing with you, that they agree that the I don't know, but you know what I mean. So we will be in total with 12, and it's not the big party that we originally wanted, but we are already glad that we will get married this year. It's another date than our 10 years together, but it will be before the house, and then we can just go from there, doing everything together, and just well, continuing our lives together, because we are already together for 10 years and we are already living together. So not a lot of things that are going to change, but you know, officially also the law is agreed with us being together. So it's not super romantic, but it's something. I'm just skipping to the car because there is a lot to talk about. So you just saw me color everything in. The markers, they are listed on my blog post if you want to revisit the color combinations for each part of it. And then I use the matching dies to cut everything out. For the background, I used the basic striped 2 stencil from Clearly Besotted, as I said in the beginning. Now, the fun thing about this is that it's really intricate, and so the bars are a bit, well, they go everywhere if you're going too hard. So what did I do? I added a bit of pixie spray, not everywhere, and I wanted to have a gradient going from the outside towards the inside. If you saw the card with the heart, with the mocha love, where I used images from paper ink, you might recall this kind of ink blending. It's just to have it a bit more dimensional, and then I am going to go over it really softly with the same inks to not have any white lines, because that I didn't want. With the pixie spray, I didn't have a lot of blurred lines. However, I wanted to be sure, and it needs to be perfect or it isn't. And if you're not sure, you can always just do like me and just add in a lighter kind of way that other color that is also out there. And that's what I did here. Also making sure that in the middle it's lighter than on the edges. That's what I liked about the heart, so I decided to do that again. And then I could remove the purple tape and start with the sentiment, with adding everything and assembling the card. So back to the wedding, because that's interesting, and I really find it funny when I think about it. So I never wear dresses. Why? Because I'm a woman and there are just parts of my body that I'm unsure about, being the legs and other parts, but mostly the legs for a dress. So the boyfriend here, he was, well, the fiance. It's weird to say it, but he was like, well, I want you to wear a dress. So I started looking for a dress last minute, because we decided a month, well, in the beginning of January, we decided on a date. So last minute searching for a dress, finding all these dresses that were like kind of okay for a wedding if you want to wear a dress then, and but the prices were really high. And I was like, well, I'm just going to search for a budget wedding dress then. If I need to wear a dress and it's already going to cost me that much, then I can also find a wedding dress for that amount. So I found a wedding dress for that amount. Well, I found 2 that I liked, and I went to the store, and the store didn't have them. But however, I was going to try out dresses, so I wore 5 dresses, and I was really surprised by 2 of them. And I parted with one of them. And then I immediately went to the atelier for the changes and stuff. So now all of a sudden I have a wedding in a month, well, less than a month, and I have a wedding dress even, and it's not going to be fancy, it's going to be really small, but we are going to enjoy ourselves, and we will get married this year, and next year we will hopefully do the big thing, and doing the church and doing the family, and we were excited about it. And then the house. So a lot is happening, and I will hopefully keep you up to date throughout my videos. I think that's fun, maybe for you guys. Otherwise, you skip throughout my chatting here. You don't need to listen if you don't want to. But that's my card. Added a bit of Stickles for a bit of glitter, and that's it. Really simple, but really fun card. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you didn't mind the chatting about the rest of my life. Thank you so much for stopping by and taking the time. I love you all, and I truly appreciate you. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye!